Hello, everybody. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. As the season nears its end, a berth in the man knows the responsibility for getting them there lies mostly with him and with his ability to guide through offense flawlessly in this game. It's the Cardinals going up against the Vikings. So with kickoff approaching, let's send it over to our commentators here this afternoon, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Larry, in 2 years' time, it will host Super Bowl 52. You get a look inside the impressive new U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Today, we've got an interesting Week 11 matchup on tap between the Arizona Cardinals and the Minnesota Vikings. Hi again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And, Charles, you look at this Vikings ball club. They come in playing pretty well, 6-3 in their last 9 games. They'll try and start this drive in the air. And this one to Treadwell, complete. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone, and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains. So the offense has it 1st and 10.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down. And after the play on the ground, that brings up 2nd down here.
Playing against a 3-4 front is really challenging for offensive linemen because they can do so many different things. But when you're running the football, if you can handle the nose tackle up front and then maybe a guard can slide up to the 2nd level and block a linebacker, that's when you have success running the football.
And, Charles, despite this list of key inactives that we see here, they've obviously still been pretty successful.
Give everyone credit for this one because, to me, when that happened,
Adrian Peterson, the 20, 10, touchdown, Vikings. Adrian Peterson, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Vikings are an extra point away from tying this thing up. Well, they were just hoping that run would pick up the first. They got the whole enchilada.
And I'm so used to teams on 3rd down, doesn't matter how far they need for a first down, throwing the ball. Instead, they run it, and as you said...
And now out comes Minnesota. And that last drive, it was all about the ground game, ground and pound.
And I don't care how we're playing the game these days, offensive linemen still want to fire out and smack the guy opposite them and move the football on the ground. They feel better about that. That's what they want to do. That's how they want to play, and that's how they got it done.
Yeah, and they got it for a touchdown last drive. Let's see what happens here. And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. It's caught by Treadwell. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down. In danger of squandering their great field position as they come up on a 3rd and 7.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
Looking for his tight end Rudolph, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Dayon Buchanan. And a big turnover. The Vikings offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. He'll look to throw. Dancing to his left. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
It's a tried and true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, That's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he sensed being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. 11 yards for number 11.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and get the quarterback a really nice target.
Now the offense still has a couple plays to go to pick up the first on 2nd down and 3. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him, so when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
Offense.
So oftentimes you see defensive holding. Here it's offensive holding for the flag. He went backwards there 8 yards, and it brings up 3rd down. Back to throw. On the catch, it's Jarius Wright. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And that is going to set up a 3rd and 1.
Slant route's effective no matter who's running the route and catching the ball. But when you have a receiver of that stature, you have to be a little bit more precise throwing it. You don't have the same catch radius with the bigger targets.
3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving. And a new set of downs here after picking up the first on the ground.
3rd and 1, partner. No need to be fancy there. Just use some force and move forward and pick up the first down.
And he's got the hook up here. It's Kyle Rudolph. 23 yards on the play.
And there's another completion to the tight end. And let's face it, it is hard to overthrow a 6'6" target.
It is indeed. Quarterbacks like their speed guys. They like that huge 6'6" target that they've got in him.
They really do, and it reminds me of what one great tight end told me once. He told his quarterback, just make sure you throw it up there, you know, kind of like put it up on the top shelf where the kids can't get it.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Gonna throw deep for the end zone. 1:59 to go in the first half. More from Minneapolis after this. A reminder that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll check in with Larry Ridley in Orlando with highlights and analysis of this first half of play.
And I'm going to check in with a heater.
I'm going to be right there with you, partner. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues. And they're going to speed things up here.
Some think the teams really won't throw a slant route unless you have a receiver that has a lot of stature to him. But sometimes the little guys, they get lost in there. People can't really locate them, and they run that quick cut on the slant, and oftentimes they can turn it into big plays.
They'll set up a throw. Now that'll be tipped and intercepted. Picked off here by Aaron Colvin. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. A really long drive here, and it goes on and on. They're going to look to throw. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
Slants are so tough to cover because everything happens so fast. But sometimes it happens too fast for the guy catching the ball because all of his movements have to be quick off the line of scrimmage, and then all of a sudden the ball's right on top of you. And maybe he got a little bit ahead of himself there.
Yeah, a lot of times coming in with good pace, and he dropped it. They've made goal line offense a priority on the practice field this week. This is exactly the situation they've been prepping for. And the hole closely to about the 4. It's a gain of a couple, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
And a nice job defensively to keep him out of the end zone. He was trying to get a 2nd touchdown already.
And he will take this one into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. Adrian Peterson with his 2nd TD of the game, his 6th on the year. And the Vikings are able to strike for 6.
And while that...
Now the Vikings offense works their way back onto the field. And that recipe on their last drive that resulted in a touchdown looked pretty good, so they'll be hoping to do that once more.
And it takes me back to when we sat with the offensive coordinator and the head coach. They felt pretty good about their game plan and thought there were some holes in the defense, and they exploited them the last time out. Let's see if they can come back and put together a similar drive.
And we'll see if they can do just that. He'll try again with the arm here on 2nd down. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. The intended receiver was Laquan Treadwell, and it's third down.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
And he dropped it. Now it was tipped, altered the ball. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the third. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that, because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
Let's see if they do just that. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. It'll go as a loss of about 6, and now it brings up third. Second down, sack by the defense. What type of pressure will they bring here on third? We'll see. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. Cordero Patterson, the one he was hoping to get it to. And that'll bring up. And now out comes Minnesota. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battles.
Looking for his tight end Rudolph, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Alex Okafor. And he'll bring it back to about the 5-yard line.
Well, surprise.
And now out comes Minnesota. And last time, one-play interception. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling. Because a one-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people think the very next time out, run the football, don't give them a chance.
Maybe play action.
I think maybe you go play action, show your quarterback, get a little confidence in it, and let him fling another one.
So an excellent throw and an excellent catch there.
Zone coverage, which means you just have to find the open areas in between defenders, is exactly what happened on that play.
And he was hit as he threw it there, and it forces it incomplete. So 2nd and 10 here.
We just saw another example of really good defensive football, which has led to the cushion that they have in this game. Got to him once again, knocked him on the ground, forced an incompletion.
And they've set the tone. It's one thing to set the tone, another to come in here on the road and set the tone. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down. Maybe just a lack of concentration there as he couldn't haul it in.
And when you're going across the middle like that, you know, he's running that drag route, you are conscious of all the bodies and the traffic in there. But let's face it, if you're going...
And nothing but daylight ahead. Touchdown, Vikings. Their dangerous wide receiver. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Vikings are able to make this a close game again. And he showcased his blazing speed on that one.
Was he wearing football cleats or track spikes? Because he was gone. Big-time play. And just think about what that does if you're a receiver on the team with him. Well, that's got to open things up for you as well, because if I'm a defense...
And the Vikings now head. Last time they were out, they scored. Still trailing here, though, so some work to do.
But it's okay in terms of mindset. Because they scored the last time, they're not quite as worried about being down on the scoreboard, because now their confidence is a little bit higher. They feel like they got something going, and they feel like they can attack again and put more points on the board.
Are you scoreboard watching if you're the offense, or are you just focused on this drive?
We wouldn't be telling the truth if we said that they didn't scoreboard watch. Everyone does it to some extent. But you've got to set it aside right now and just focus on this series. That'll take care of the scoreboard if they punch it into the end zone.
And he was able to find a very soft spot in that zone coverage.
I love that term, Brandon. That soft spot where you find the open area, set up, and catch the football before the heart.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. And now following that sack, looks like we've got an injured man down there on the field. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. They'll look to throw. And he's going to be intercepted a third time. It's the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line.
Defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete. Second and 10, he'll look to throw again. And his pass is intercepted for the fourth time today. A great read, and it's picked off. And he will not get all the way home, but he will take this. And now out comes Minnesota. They go back to the air here after the INT. The Cards get to him here. He's brought down for a sack. The Pro Bowler, Calais Campbell, in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year.
All right, here we go. No. Check, Patrick.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. He's got time. He's going to air one out. And both guys were there, but it falls incomplete.
Well, they went for the big play there, but that drop could really hurt their momentum.
And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. Back to throw here. And right with it here over the middle. They do get 9, but it leads to 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catch.
Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride.
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. They'll set up a throw. And this will be incomplete.
Well, partner, so much for the mismatch. How about the guy at the second level, that big linebacker, able to run with the receiver and make a play on the football?
And on 3rd and 8, defensively, they're going to beef up the secondary. 6 defensive backs. That's caught by Treadwell. And he's brought down after a good gain. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. He's going to let it fly. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. Johnson was the intended receiver, and it's 2nd down. And Patrick Peterson there getting his hand on another one.
And that's multiple times in this game where he's able to knock the ball away. Are we sure he just has 2 arms, 2 hands? Because it feels like he's almost like an octopus out there. How do you get a pass into a receiver when Patrick Peterson's defending him?
He'll try again with the arm here on 2nd down. And that will be incomplete with a clock showing 18 seconds now to go.
It looked like they had something there, but I think that he was thinking about running with the football before he actually hauled it in, and that led to a big drop.
So incomplete on 2nd down. Now they'll look to convert here on 3rd.
Green 39! Green 39!
Again, he'll drop to throw. The throw left side complete to Treadwell. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play. Back to throw now on first down. And the grab made by the tight end Pruitt. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. It'll be their third and final timeout, so as they talk things over, we'll step aside. Inside the red zone here. They'll look to throw. And now here is another interception. A great read, and it's picked off. And he'll be brought down at his own 10-yard line. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something but... Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help.